Close your eyes tight when you're walking in the dark. There are ghosts everywhere here. My name is Okafor Chidumeje, CEO at OurDrKing Foundation Nigeria, convener, trade-a-thon, the Lupus Day. The Lupus Day. There are ghosts everywhere around in the hospital here. My name is Dr. Okafor Chidumeje, CEO at OurDrKing Foundation Nigeria, the convener, trade-a-thon, the Lupus Day. Strange things happen in hospitals. Strange things happen in hospitals. Okay, I'll share this story with you. About 4 or 5 years ago, there was this general hospital, now a specialist hospital. I was working in there. And it was a locum job actually, so that means I only come at night to cover the duties. I don't actually know all the staffers in the hospital, so I don't know all the nurses. I think there should be about 50 or so plus nurses. And you know, as general hospitals do now, not everybody actually comes from night shifts. Most people will sell their night shifts. Others might not be able to cover night shifts, so they'll be taking maybe like permanent money. So, but I was taking a permanent night shift. And I've worked there for like about 2 to 3 months when this incident happened, or maybe when this incident became clear. There was this part. We had a call room then, and the call room was closer to the outpatient clinic. You know, normally call rooms should be closer to the wards, but in this particular facility, the call room means the rooms where the doctor stays until he's called. That doctors on call duty stays until he's called to come and attend to a patient that has problems. So the call room was closer to the outpatient clinic. And for about 2 weeks, whenever there is a problem in the ward, there is this particular nurse that comes to call me. I won't give the name of that nurse. The nurse that comes to call me. Now, this particular nurse, I actually met this nurse in the morning when I was coming for interview. I came for interview twice. So that was where I met this nurse for the first time. She was already working there, and she was on morning duty that day. So for about 2 weeks now, remember I told you I was taking only night duties, and those night duties I come like about 2 or 3 times a week. So for about 2 weeks, this particular nurse will always be the one to come and knock on my door on the call room to tell me that there is a patient in the ward that has this and this complaint. So I will go and attend to the patient. The next day, I will be sleeping on the call room. This particular nurse will also come again and knock and say this so and so. And for this particular 2 weeks, I've always been in time. Like, I didn't notice this thing until maybe as the 2 weeks were ending. I will notice that it's more like I was predicting what was happening to these patients. Unlike that the thing started happening and I was called. Normally it should be that a patient develops fever and you will be called. But in this particular case, I will always report to the ward. I'll tell the nurse on the ward that the patient in bed 8, I was called that the patient in bed 8 is having fever. The nurse will feign something like ignorance, having fever, and then we'll go there and test, and the patient will be having fever. I'll be called that the patient in bed 10 is having seizure. Then we will go to the bed of the patient, and then the patient is having seizure. That means the nurse on duty isn't even aware the patient is having seizure. The relatives are not even aware that the patient is having seizure. So it's more like I am predicting what is happening to these people. The story is still coming up. So this thing kept happening until the last one was this particular nurse called me and told me that this woman that just finished delivering, that they've moved over to the postnatal ward, is bleeding. So as I was about going, and I said, bleeding, do you know whether their records is up there in the lab? She told me yes. So I went to the lab, collected 2 units of blood, and started going down to the patient actually has 2 units of a unit of blood in the blood bank. So I collected that one plus another matched blood. I took the 2 bloods and I went to the ward. As I was coming to that ward, there was nothing happening to that patient. In fact, there was a delay in this particular issue, in this particular case now. unlike in further cases where immediately I come, I go with the nurse and this is happening. So as I came, I told the nurse that the nurse was quite busy, that the patient on bed 10 is bleeding. So the nurse was like, really bleeding? I said, yes. He said, no, I just finished checking that patient now. I said, no, that patient is bleeding. And the nurse just called me now that the patient is bleeding. Now, I have this very bad habit of not knowing my colleagues by their name. I tend to limit knowing them as doctor, as lab technician, lab scientist, staff nurse. Sometimes attaching to their names is always a bit difficult for me to get to. So I didn't call this, I don't actually know this particular nurse, so I just said the staff nurse called me. We now went to the bedside. When we went to the bedside, the patient, the nurse asked the woman, the postnatal nurse asked the woman, didn't I just come and check you now? Yes. And you removed the pad? Yes. Were you bleeding? The patient said no. I said, But I was called, remove this pad now. They removed the pad. The amount of blood that gushed out from that place was alarming. The nurse was not like, I just checked this patient now. Doctor, how did you even know? And remember, I was already having 2 units of blood. I started transfusing the patient immediately. So we were able to save that patient. So when I then came down, this nurse was now like, no. Ooh, okay, now, all those 2 weeks, I have not worked with a particular nurse twice. So this particular issue that's been happening has just happened once. Per nurse. It has just happened once per nurse. So this particular nurse was not like, wait, who do you even say that called you? Is it the nurse in OPD? I said, I don't think so. It should be the nurse. That nurse should be the nurse that is the ward now, because the nurse in OPD wouldn't know this is happening. He asked me, which nurse is that? I said, I don't know. But the nurse is fair. I described the nurse. Then he told me, which one? Who are you describing? I described the nurse. He told me, are you serious? She started laughing. I said, yes. He told me to come. He took me into their dressing room, more like, and told me, look at this poster over there. I looked at the poster. It was an obituary poster. I said, no, you can't be kidding me. Right there in that poster was that particular nurse that had been calling me for 2 weeks. So I said, when did this happen? He told me the nurse died. From the date he gave me, the nurse died of an accident. That particular day, we came for interview. So for 2 weeks, this nurse has been saving the lives of patients, coming to call me from my call room. And this is not a ghost. This is a real human. That is, because we joke now. You know, typical me now, I will still joke and pinch her and draw her hand and those normal silly plays. I will still play like that now before going down to see the patient. Sometimes I even say, come, let me give you money now. So answer doctor tonight. Go and do this. We all laugh. Like I'm hearing this nurse. And this nurse has died almost like 2 months plus before those incidents. Wow. Strange things happen in hospitals. Just be careful who you on night duty with. The Lupus Day. Dr. Okafor Chidumeje, CEO at OurDrKing Foundation Nigeria. Convener, Treatathon. The Lupus Day.